So I feel like every headline nowadays is about rising interest rates and how that's been affecting home buyers.
I know, it's totally changed my business this year.
So we talk all the time as home buyers bringing 5, 10, 20% down for your down payment. Well, this is who's bringing the other 80, 90, 95% of the funds to actually buy that house.
Hi, I'm Christina Mauney with Team LBD at American Security Mortgage. I've been working with Andy pretty much since day one.
It's been about 6 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And obviously in the last 6 years, a lot has changed, and especially in the last couple months. So we wanted to come together today and talk about what we're seeing in the Charlotte market right now.
Before we get into all that, this house is amazing. Where are we?
It's pretty sick. So we're actually in Cotswold. This is a home built by Roma Homes. It is 4328 Walker Road. It's about 4,300 square feet. You have 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, 2 separate one-car garages, which is pretty cool. And I mean, honestly, I think by the time we post this video, it's gonna be up for sale already. And my guess is it's gonna be somewhere in the realm of like around $2 million, give or take.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's get into the market update. That's why we're all here, right? So in the last year in the Charlotte MSA, home prices have gone up about 17% from 390 to 457. And inventory has creeped up from about 1 month flat to 1.5 months. Do you kind of know how the inventory levels work and what that means?
Yeah, doesn't it mean that if no house went on the market after today, it would take about 1.5 months for everything to sell?
Yeah, that's exactly it. All right, so obviously as things are changing, we're seeing showings are tapering off on some of our listings, but like in your world, what are you seeing with buyers or borrowers?
I'm definitely seeing a lot less pre-approvals, but those that are getting pre-approved are definitely more serious and they know exactly what they want.
So it's probably like, we always like to say it's people who almost feel the need to buy and have like a very motivating reason to buy versus people who just want to because rates are 2.5%.
Completely.
What are you seeing as like some of the most motivating factors for borrowers or buyers when you talk to them? Like when you're going through a pre-approval, what's like the most common thing you're hearing from them, like why they need to buy a house right now?
Honestly, I feel like it's a lot of people just moving here from out of town because we have such a great quality of life. You know, for example, I spoke with some people yesterday who are moving here from Seattle and they figured they work from home. Why live somewhere that rains all the time when they can go to the sunshine?
That's true, and also like compared to Seattle, I mean, you can get a 2-bed, 1-bath house that's 100 years old for the same price as a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom that's brand new in Cotswold. And it's a huge quality of life change, and that's what we're seeing on our end too, is a lot of people are moving here because you're close to the mountains, you're close to the beach, you've got pro sports, you've got music, you've got food, you've got everything you could want in a city like this. So why not move down? So obviously, as you guys are focusing on the most well-qualified buyers, are there things that you're doing in order to help with affordability? Because that's obviously becoming more difficult right now.
Totally. So my company has rolled out some buy-down programs. We have a 2-1 or 1-0 buy-down. So the way that it works, say the 1-0, your rate will be a full percentage point lower for the first year, and then it'll adjust to the note rate the next year. The way that it works, the seller has to pay for it, but it definitely helps the buyer out for that first year with that much lower payment.
So when you say when it adjusts up to the note rate, is that like when people see that it's 6% or whatever, does that mean when they close on the house it's 5% for 1 year and then 6% after that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you mention there was like a 2-1
Yeah.
0 or something too? I mean, like I studied finance in college and like I sell houses now. I'm not in lending because of that, so.
That's fine, I got you. So the 2-1 is just a little bit more. So the first year it's 2 percentage points lower than the note rate. And then the next year is 1 percentage point lower than the note rate. And then the third year would go to the note rate where it is today. However, a lot of people think rates are gonna drop before then, so you can just refinance out of it before that happens without penalty.
What is the main benefit to doing something like that versus like trying to get a 5-1 or 7-1 arm right now?
Well, there's definitely a risk to an arm because say you have a 5-year arm, it's fixed for the first 5 years, but then it will adjust wherever rates are then. So there's no knowing where rates are going to be then. At least with the buy down, you know exactly where your rate's going to be in 2 or 3 years.
That's pretty smart. The thing I like about that is if a seller doesn't want to reduce the price, especially builders right now, we're seeing a lot of builders don't want to reduce prices. Some of the builders I work with, they call it like a self-cannibalization. If they reduce the prices, because as soon as they reduce the price, then they have to work their way back up.
Right.
And so what a lot of sellers, it sounds like they're going to start doing is offering a credit to buyers, right? Because the buyer can't pay for that 210 or the 10. And so if a seller offers a credit, the other thing that's super beneficial about that is the fact that then they could sell the house at a price up here versus a price down here.
Yeah. And it's a win-win for both parties, honestly. I mean, the buyer gets a lower rate and the seller gets to keep the price where they want it, maybe make a little bit less than they were making, a few years back, but still making a great amount.
What does it typically cost to do something like that? What does that look like?
So I did the math actually again this morning. I've been running a lot lately. For a 500.
So that's why you were late today.
Actually, I love that. So for a $600,000 house, the 1.0 buy down costs about $4,000, and then the 2.1 buy down is about $10,000.
So that way, like if you're a seller or if you're a listing agent, that's something that you can offer to buyers that are coming through the house, because that'll obviously make a huge difference. So before we go, I wanted to thank Roma Homes one more time for letting us use this beautiful house at 4328 Walker Road. One of the things that's awesome about working with Roma Homes, which I mean you can feel it when you're in here, is they just have such a high level of attention to detail in these homes. And it's not just what you see, it's behind the walls. These homes are airtight, watertight. They even get an HVAC architect to come out here literally to design the perfect and the most efficient unit for this house that could be totally different than the one next door that's a similar size. So these guys are great at what they do. What that translates to for buyers is it means that in 5, 10, 15 years, you're not going to have the same issues that everybody else will have. This home also, in case you didn't notice when we were walking around, has a sick room to showcase your wines right outside of the dining and living area with a matching bar across from it. All that being said, thank you so much for coming here and doing this with us and talking to everybody about what we're seeing in the market, what you guys are doing, and how you're adapting to this new market as well.
Thank you so much for having me today. This is a lot of fun. This house is absolutely beautiful. And don't you always, at the end of your videos, ask people to like and subscribe to your videos?
Yeah,
Isn't that what you do? All right, well, if you liked it, then do that here.
And we'll see you next week.